Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Italian reports, Cristiano Ronaldo is linked with a sensational return to Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo could make a return to Man United in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. Now, we had Cristiano Ronaldo for 6 years. We had him from 2003 to 2009. During his time with us, he won 3 Premier League titles. He won the Champions League, he won the FA Cup, he won the League Cup, and he won the FIFA Club World Cup. We paid £12 million for him from Sporting Lisbon. In 2009, we sold him to Real Madrid for £80 million. Ronaldo endured like 10 years with Real Madrid. And obviously, in 2018, Juventus paid £100 million for Ronaldo. He's under contract with Juventus until 2022. Cristiano Ronaldo is regarded as the best player in the world. He's won 5 Ballon d'Ors. He's won 31 major honours in his playing career. And I think he's won 4 European Golden Shoes. Ronaldo is the age of 36. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Cristiano Ronaldo could make a return to Real Madrid, and he says Juventus were willing to accept just £25 million. Do you think that'd be a good swap deal? You know, Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to Man United and Paul Pogba going back to Juventus. I said there's still a good chance that Paul Pogba will leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window, but there's still a chance that he'll stay potentially past the summer. I did mention if Paul Pogba leaves, I think he'll go back to Juventus because he did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. He said the other week that Juventus were willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Paul Pogba, and it said they was willing to offload Adrian Rabiot and Aaron Ramsey to afford Pogba. But a few weeks ago, it said that Juventus had told Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, that they cannot afford Paul Pogba. So reflecting on that, it said that Paul Pogba will not be making a return to Juventus. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. You know, Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Recently, Barcelona have been in for him. And it did mention the 4 players that Barcelona could offer for Paul Pogba. Solskjaer did say not so long ago that Paul Pogba's future lies at Old Trafford, and he hopes that Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract. Our players said they would be devastated if the club decided to sell Paul Pogba. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. We've been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months. He was superb against Tottenham recently. I prefer Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role because that's where he's more effective. I'm not too keen on him in a deeper role. Don't forget he was out with a thigh injury for a while earlier on this season. At the first part of this season he was out with an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. DiMarzio said earlier on this season that Pogba's got no intentions of extending his Man United contract and his preferred destination is Juventus, and he said that he still wants to quit Man United. Mini Oriola has obviously been desperate to get his client out of the football club. Quite a few weeks ago, Mini Oriola criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with Mini Oriola criticising Ferguson. He did make an announcement back in December regarding Pogba, and he said that Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of extending his contract. Solskjaer was furious with his announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. But Mini Oriola also said that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. He did say earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. This is Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. That's the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. And we had him when he was a lot younger under Ferguson, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Matty is Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother. He gave us an update on Pogba's future earlier on this season. He actually advised us to sell Paul Pogba because he did say that he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. And he said there's a good chance he'll leave on a free next year. Now, I want to talk with you about Jesse Lingard. I think Jesse Lingard will be sold. Now, it said the other week that we set our asking price for Jesse Lingard. It's £30 million. And it did say that we are looking at a swap deal involving Jesse Lingard and Declan Rice. It said that we've got the advantage in Jesse Lingard transfer talks because West Ham have said they'll do whatever it takes to get Lingard permanently. Lingard went out on loan to West Ham in January, and since he's gone out on loan, he's made a fantastic impact. He did say, though, earlier on this season that we was open to a sensational return for Lingard, and he says that he could be given a new 3-year contract. This is Jesse Lingard's 5th loan spell because before he's had loan spells with Leicester, Brighton, Birmingham and Derby. We made the right decision loaning Lingard out because obviously he lost his place in our team. I think in total this season he only made 3 appearances for us. And there was a period when he was with us where he didn't score 1 goal in the Premier League or register 1 assist in the Premier League for over a year. So I think we do need to, get rid of Lingard permanently. There's no reason why he'd want to leave West Ham now, reflecting how good he's done with them. I'd love to get Declan Rice as part of the deal, but I don't see West Ham going along with this. I think recently they laughed it off. West Ham are only willing to sell Declan Rice if they receive a bid in the excess of £100 million. I think £100 million is too much for Declan Rice, but I think Declan Rice is a very, very good player and he would dramatically improve us. I think Declan Rice is probably worth from between 60 to 70 million. He said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. It said earlier on this season that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million. Now, that's very reasonable. Last year, Declan Rice was relentlessly linked with a move to Chelsea. That's when Frank Lampard was Chelsea manager. He was Frank Lampard's top target. Frank Lampard was very infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice. But the reasons I take Rice at Man United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He's a good player. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. And we need a defensive midfielder. And Declan Rice is predominantly a holding midfielder. But he can also be deployed as a centre-half. Rice has been at West Ham now for like 7 years. He's made over 100 appearances in the Premier League. He's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. Yes, before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years. Now, obviously, you know the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, Jadon Sancho's wage demands have been agreed. We just need to come to an agreement now on a transfer fee. Now, it does mention that we are refusing to rule out a move for Sancho and we are still interested in him. So, yeah, I think Sancho's move to Man United is close. Borussia Dortmund have already admitted that they will sell Jadon Sancho for the right price this summer. We will have to submit an exceptional offer to sign Sancho. The Borussia Dortmund CEO has warned. Now, earlier on this season, it said we believe we can get Sancho for a cut price fee of £50 million. It said earlier on this season that we actually paused our transfer pursuit of Sancho due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. Earlier on this season, Sancho did make an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund, but last summer he was our number one priority target. But the main explanation we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Dortmund's 108 million valuation. So their valuation was a stumbling block because Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close. It really was, because it said the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed, but couldn't come to an agreement on an actual fee. Dortmund said to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. You know the news as well on Erling Haaland. The Express recently said that we are worried about the Erling Haaland transfer pursuit because of Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Mino Raiola wants to make Erling Haaland the first £1 million a week player. Said the other week that we declined to meet Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. Yeah, we are one of the clubs that can afford him. Dortmund are demanding around 150 million. And there has been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda. Recently said that Solskjaer's drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. You know, the first 4 names are Jules Koundé, Raphael Varane, Pau Torres and Konate. But this year's summer transfer window is huge for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reports said not so long ago that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. I've identified the areas where we need to strengthen up. I think there's around 4 areas where we need to strengthen up. You know, I think we need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. So in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window. and he'll be Man United manager next season, because we've already made it clear that Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. But I did say that Solskjaer does deserve another season at the club, because he has made progress in certain aspects. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer did come out last month and say that winning trophies can be an ego thing. And he said that in regards to some other managers and some other clubs. And he basically said, clubs like Man United, trophies no longer prove success. Got to totally disagree with him in that aspect. Prior to the Tottenham game, Jose Mourinho hit back at Solskjaer for what he said last month. Solskjaer and Mourinho recently had a bust-up, haven't they? Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously Woodward's standing by him, and Woodward obviously believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. And obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football, and it was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in, and he's our first ever director of football. And obviously we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. Solskjaer's already spoke with our recruitment team about our transfer plans for the summer. But I reckon Solskjaer needs at least £200 million if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. I don't think Ollie's been backed enough so far. And in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. But, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've overpaid for players, and the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. Woodward's been at the club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. Quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. I think there's a chance that Edison Cavani will leave. There again, he could possibly stay for next season. I think there's a lot of Man United fans that want Cavani to stay for next season. Solskjaer wants him to stay. Prior to the game against Tottenham, Solskjaer said he was unsure over Edison Cavani's future. Not so long ago, we held showdown talks with Edison Cavani over his future at the club. Cavani was recently superb against Tottenham. Obviously had a disallowed goal, and he scored a very, very good diving header and played a part in Fred's equaliser. Footballer Insider said not so long ago that Edison Cavani is willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He already has a verbal agreement with Boca Juniors, and Boca Juniors are willing to offer him a 3-year contract. Now, earlier on this season, Solskjaer said that Edison Cavani was closer to Boca Juniors and staying at Man United, and his father came out, Edison Cavani, and said that he's unhappy, he's not comfortable in England, and he wants to leave. And reports from Argentina said prior to that Cavani's decided to leave Man United after one season. Marcus Rojo, who was a former Man United player, he recently held conversations with Edison Cavani over Boca Juniors' move. But Cavani's made an impact since he's come in. In a lot of his games, his hold-up play has been good, he's scored goals, he's created chances, his movement in and out of the box is good, but there has been a few games where he hasn't got enough service and he's looked isolated. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second year. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial in the summer. Anthony Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for Martial, but he hasn't converted them. All he did say earlier on this season that he's backing Martial to rediscover his form. And he said he'd been impressed with his work rate. Martial's out with injury at the moment. It's very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season, Anthony Martial. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. Martial sustained the injury whilst he was on international duty with France. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. He's been at the club over 5 years. I reckon we'll get around 30 million if we sell Martial in the summer. I think there's a very, very good chance that we'll offload Juan Mata, because Juan Mata doesn't get in R11 now. At the first part of this season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June. There is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. I think Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club almost 7 years, so he's been a long servant. Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Nemanja Matic, good chance we'll offload him because he's not one of our first choice midfielders. Donny van de Beek, I think we should offload him because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. That's the only reason I think we should offload him. Says we are considering a Donny van de Beek swap deal. There's been talks of a Donny van de Beek and Adrian Rabiot swap deal. Ronald de Boer has actually backed Donny van de Beek to be a success at Man United. And he said earlier on this season that Van de Beek feels loved despite his lack of game time. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Van de Beek wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. Because it said Van de Beek wanted to quit Man United after 1 season due to his lack of game time. ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van de Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. Most of Van de Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. We got him in a deal worth 40 million last summer from Ajax, and he is versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Phil Jones, I'm expecting us to offload him. He's always been inconsistent, doesn't get in our team, and he's been out with injury for over a year. This is Phil Jones' 10th season at the club. He's been a long servant. He's the only outfield player that's still here from Ferguson. Axel Tuanzebe, I think we could offload him because he doesn't get in R11. Williams, could we loan him out? Brandon Williams is our 3rd choice left back. Romero, I think there's a good chance we'll offload him. And David De Gea, good chance that we'll offload him. And I think we'll be looking to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. There's a lot of players that will stay at Man United though, potentially past the summer. And I reckon there's a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. So Dean Henderson, he'll stay, and I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. Dean Henderson is now our number 1, I'd say. Luke Shaw, he'll stay. He's been superb this season, been player of the season by far. Harry Maguire, he'll stay, but I don't know about long-term. Victor Lindelof, I think he'll stay, but not long-term. But I think he'll stay potentially past the summer. Eric Bay, I think he'll stay potentially past the summer, but not long-term. I think Wan-Bissaka will stay as well, and he'll be here long-term. I think Fred will stay, probably not long-term. No, I think McTominay will also stay because McTominay is a decent player. There's a chance that Pogba will stay potentially past the summer. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he'll stay. Mason Greenwood will stay. long-term. Mason Greenwood's been superb since he broke into our first team squad. Marcus Rashford will stay. Also, Mad Diallo Traore will stay. Daniel James will stay. So, there you go. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I've already said, he's our best manager since Ferguson. He's our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, there's been a lot of Manchester United fans demanding Ole out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they're demanding him out of the football club. But there's also Man United fans that are Ole in, and they believe that he needs more time at the football club. Ole knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Solskjaer has already agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million, likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Does Ole deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. But I can assure that he won't see out this new contract, because I've already said that Solskjaer is not the long-term manager for Man United. Ole has been Manchester United manager now, is it 28 months or almost 28 months? So yeah, he's been at the club over 2 years. Obviously, before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, that they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. And don't forget, Ole managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he did watch some of this team grow and develop. But he's gained some managerial experience as Ole, reflecting now on his being at the club, and he's learnt quite a bit on the job, and he's tried quite a few different elements. The two biggest concerns about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree, and his decision making also concerns me. Because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. There's been some games where he's showed tactical flexibility, but he hasn't showed it enough. We love Solskjaer as a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Manchester United, so he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I can assure that we'll finish in the top 4 this season. We'll probably finish second now. But these positives regarding Solskjaer, he has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He spent almost £300 million. So far, he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. He did well last season in his first full season, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. This season, which is second full season, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He's more or less got us to the Europa League semi-final. That'll be 5 semi-finals under Ole. We are unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games, so we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. I like the way Ole's promoted the youth, and we've enjoyed good periods under him where we have seen consistency. Ole has been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're giving the job permanently because he did very, very well as the interim manager in that 3-month period. He won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. And we did appoint him in December 2018. But in the last 8 years, nothing's changed at Man United. It's just been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency. We sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. That was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Like I said, we spent over £1 billion on players in the last 8 years. And we must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. But we haven't been the same team since Ferguson retired, and a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when he retired. But let's be honest, no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club, are they? And no one's going to last as long as Ferguson did, you know. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.